it's such a pleasure to be able to speak to you for this film because I thought really interesting character, Peter. You know, he's introduced as America's favorite dad, and he's this kind of iconic sitcom star. So I guess I'm curious, did you look at any real life inspiration for what you brought to this character?
No, no. Sadly enough, there's plenty of real life inspiration, and I prefer not to look at it too much if I don't have to. I just read the script and tried to tried to not be self-conscious. That's basically the entirety of my preparation for everything I do. Just learn the lines and try not to seem self-conscious.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And I know watching
Mm,
this film as a viewer, it's an unbelievably tense kind of experience. But when you
mm.
did sit down and read that script for the first time, what was it like for you to see the way things unfold and obviously the kind of surprising role that Peter brings to it as well?
It was that first time that I read the script. It was I found the hair on the back of my head standing up. I thought long and hard about actually playing the part because of course the guy is reprehensible and but I had to do it. I had to do it,
Yeah.
and um, I mean, there's no such thing as not doing it in my world, unless of course it's just a crap script or something. But I like to work and I like to do things I don't know if I can do them. And I like to I like to meet new people and go places and I just love everything about my job. So, uh, yeah, there was no world in which I wasn't actually going to play Peter if
Oh,
I was
that's
offered. Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible to hear. And of course, working with a director like Carlson Young, obviously she's acted as well. So, as
Mm.
an actor, is it really useful to have a director like that who obviously has been in your position and been in front of the camera in that way? Does that help a lot with your performance, would you say?
It's very useful. It's
Hmm.
very useful. It's actors have been former actors or even practicing actors who happen to be directing are among my favorites. They know how to talk to you to get what they want, and I mean, there's the kind of workaday actors who are like traffic directors, and that's enjoyable as well because they're just like, go say the lines and do what you want to do, and so you do it. But then there are actors who, I mean, directors who have had a hand in acting, and they tend to be able to say the right thing to kind of open you up and get things out of you that you weren't maybe sure were in you in the first place.
Oh, that's so interesting. And of course, at the
Mm.
same time, you and Sophie have a few scenes together, but they're really important scenes. And obviously, there's a lot of subtext to a couple of them as well. I think that scene later on when Peter confronts the younger actor and there's that kind of tension. So, what was
Mm.
it like working with Sophie and exploring the kind of relationship these two have and maybe some of the history that we didn't see in the film itself that's just implied?
Yeah, it was. I mean, as for Sophie, she's wonderful. She's absolutely wonderful. She's down to earth. She's fun. She's funny. There are no airs or we all know actors can be a funny bunch, and sometimes you have to walk on eggshells around people. But Sophie's just not one of those. She's a genuine and decent and fun and funny person. So, what might have been extremely uncomfortable was made much less so, just by virtue of who she is and what she brings to the game.
Oh,
Well, I loved it. I loved working with her, and even the one or two extremely uncomfortable the scenes that might have been extremely uncomfortable uh, were made bearable.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. And Peter,
Mm.
like I said, when we first meet him, he is that classic kind of sitcom star. You could name any number of those like sitcom dads that we see, but
Yeah.
as the
Yeah.
film plays out, we see this darkness and it's real desperation he's got as well as
Yeah.
his world kind of starts falling apart. So how much
Yeah.
fun is it for you to really sink your teeth into a character like that when, he the kind of lengths he's willing to go to in this film?
It was good fun. It was really good fun. The most uncomfortable thing about the whole experience for me was wearing a wig. I had to wear a wig in the, to have to look younger, in the parts when I was substantially younger. And that's the one that of all the things in the film that one could be uncomfortable about, that was the top of the list right there. Um, but otherwise, really good fun to be able to play a character that's so not who he appears to be. You know, that's always good fun.
Yeah, and I think we really see that as well. That obviously that scene you have with Peter's character, where he's obviously hiring him to do something pretty unthinkable. That really shows what
Mm.
kind of a person Peter is as well. So the two of you, was that quite a fun scene to work on with what was
Oh
happening
yeah,
there? Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. It was everything about it was fun. It was, and he's such a good actor. He had such a presence. So I just loved the whole experience, and I got to be in Mexico City for a number of weeks. I hadn't been there since. Oh my goodness, my then girlfriend was in the original Dune, the David Lynch Dune, and I went to visit her. I guess it must have been 1983 or two or something, and yeah. I was almost in that movie as an extra.
Wow.
This is something I haven't told a lot of people. And the moment I was in wardrobe to be an extra in David Lynch's Dune, which was thrilling to me because, I lived in those books,
Yeah.
as so many others did. Um, and I stepped on set to be an extra in one of those big black rubber suits with a magnifying glass on the front of it. And the moment I set foot on stage in front of the cameras, I felt this funny thing in my stomach. And then I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And I sprinted for the toilet. It's Mexico City. They tell you don't drink the water. At least they did then. Sadly, without going into too much detail, I was unsure of the location of the toilet and I had difficulty. It was a very complicated suit and I didn't manage to get out of it in time. And as you can imagine what happened. And embarrassingly enough, it happened in front of other people. So,
Oh,
yeah, that was almost my first film.
wow. So a real blast to the past heading back to Mexico
Yes.
City. But it all worked out for you in the end, I think it's fair to say.
Yes, it
Take
did,
that.
so to speak. This time it worked out.
And just while I've got you, Billy, I'm a big superhero fan. Obviously, the Rocketeer, that's kind of
Mm,
the archetype, original superhero movie in a lot of ways. And I know Disney's kind of struggled with what to do with that franchise. They thought about a
mm.
sequel and didn't pan out. But how do you look back at the legacy of that film? And would you ever like to return to that world if someone can finally, crack it?
I would love to. I was just talking about this with someone. That film was such a seminal moment in my life, and I loved it so much. I loved everything about it. I made lifelong friendships. I was friends with Alan till the day he died. Friends with Dave Stevens, who also is gone. And you know, I can't say enough about it. And so I'm all for a reboot you know if someone who also loves the property
Yeah.
as much as I love it and is willing to honor Dave's vision. then I'm all for a reboot. I mean, obviously, I'm too long in the tooth to be. Maybe they give me a cameo or something. I don't know, but I'd love to see it, whether I was in it or not. But I'd love to see it. More importantly, I'd love to see it treated well and treated respectfully.
Fingers crossed on that one. But for now, Billy, I cannot wait for people to see you in this one because I think they're going to be really surprised. So thank you so much for taking the time. Big fan of your work, and it's awesome to speak to you.
Thank you so much.